Oh, it looked mighty good for one Sam Burns at the first playoff hole. Charles Schwab challenge from the collar to the bottom. Burns makes birdie at the 73rd hole of this tournament to better Scottie Scheffler in a playoff. Scheffler did have an extended look of his own to match Burns with a birdie at the first playoff hole, but it came up just wide right. Burns coming away with the victory, his third of the season, and he came into this final round, you might have heard this before, 7 shots back, just as Justin Thomas did a week ago. For the second consecutive week, a player sitting 7 shots back, walking away a winner on the PGA Tour. And this go-around, it's Sam Burns, better than them all.
Sam, you hadn't hit a putt in over 2 hours. Talk me through what you were just able to put in the bottom of the cup.
Yeah, gosh, I don't even know. I think just with the conditions today, how tough it was playing, I was just so proud of the way we hung in there. Just played such a good round of golf today, and Travis did a great job all day just keeping us in it, especially after hit a foul ball on 12 and just kind of kill our momentum. But just proud of the way we finished, and then, I mean, to make that putt is just icing on the cake.
When you were 14 years old, you were here with your dad and brother watching your role model, David Toms, win. If I were to tell that 14-year-old kid you would be doing this 11 years later, would you believe it? And what is the work that it took to get it done?
Yeah, man, I don't know if I'd have believed you. I would have wanted to, but yeah, I remember that week like it's yesterday. You know, watching him make the wedge shot on 11, and then to finish it off here and have his family here. I remember walking around with Carter that day. So yeah, that was a really fun memory for me. And then you know, to add my name on that list is really cool.
Thank you. This has been an incredible day to watch you. You hung in there. Congratulations on your 3rd win of the season.
All right, so there he is, overcome by emotion, his 3rd win of the season, 4th of his career. And man, it's good work if you can find it. But to borrow from the great Kevin Kisner, it ain't no hobby. Sam Burns, $1.5 million richer. He was 35-1 entering the final round. That too is a winning ticket if you got it. All right, let's make sense of it all with CBS senior golf writer Kyle Porter. KP, I mean, Sam Burns' final putt falls at 4:47, and some 2 hours later, he's slipping on a plaid jacket at Colonial for the 2nd consecutive week. A player entering Sunday, 7 shots back, takes home the big check. I mean, how do you make sense of it all? How do you make peace with the last 2 hours of this tournament?
Yeah, second straight week that's happened after Justin Thomas came from way down, obviously, at the PGA Championship at Southern Hills last week. You know, it was interesting, Joe, because I thought the conditions once Burns finished up got tougher. Mm-hmm. They got a lot harder, and I wasn't out there. I don't know what the wind was like or what it was doing, and clearly some of those guys in the final few pairings did not play good golf. Harold Varner III shot 45 on the back 9. Scheffler didn't make a birdie all day. It was not the best golf we've ever seen, but I thought the conditions that Burns played in were a little bit different than what those guys in the final pairings played in. And I think it's a testament to the fact that you just have to stay in it, right? You just have to stay in it and keep grinding. And I saw Noah Lane up talking about this last week, but like the reason we always talk about, guys, what if so-and-so goes out in 30? What if so-and-so shoots 65? Is because the last 2 weeks happen every once in a while. They don't happen very often. You know, I saw Justin Ray have the stat. It's been since 2012 since we've had back-to-back weeks in which the winner came from 7 down or more in the final round. So it's a once-in-a-decade type thing. But it does happen, and this is not the first time it's happened to Sam Burns. He came, he won from out in front at the Valspar earlier this year, but he hit a putt from the collar in the playoff to win that one as well. And now to get his 3rd win in this season, 4th win overall, it's a really good ending for somebody who I think is still kind of underrated when we talk about young American stars.
Yeah, it's sort of where I want to go next year, KP. You tweeted it out during the final round here. Data Golf giving Burns a 3.2% chance of winning when he posted that 9-under number. But in the end, it's his 4th career win, 3rd of the season. We've been awestruck with Scottie Scheffler, and with good reason this season. But Burns' career picking up some serious momentum in that direction as well.
Yeah, it is. And I think it's easy in the moment, like when Scheffler's won 4 out of 7 events, almost made it 5 out of 8 today, to say like, oh, he's the best player in the world, because he is the best player in the world, but he looks very clearly better than anybody that's 25 or 26 years old right now. When I think if we look back 10 years from now, I would imagine that Sam Burns and Scottie Scheffler's careers look a lot more similar than they do right now. They look pretty dissimilar right now. Scheffler's won the Masters. He's won all these big time events. He's done it in a compact period of time. Sam Burns is a really good player, and he's a really good putter. And when he gets hot with the putter, he can reel off some wins as well. Winning 4 times in your career at the age of 25 is a big deal. And I think that, he hasn't done it at a major yet, so that's still left for him to accomplish. But I was laughing about it earlier. I mean, you got 2 guys here who were kind of the 12th and 13th guys when you look at the U.S. Ryder Cup team from a year ago. That's going to be just a rout in Rome if that keeps up, and if the European guys keep falling off. So to me, it's a sign that young American golf is as exciting as it's been at least since I've been covering it, and I think for the last couple decades as well.
Call it local qualifiers. They'll be a little bit more heavily contested than the matches in Rome, perhaps, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, KP. Burns is a guy here, 8 top 10s in 17 starts this season. It's really miscut or top 10, and he's really been hanging around the tops of leaderboards all season long. He gets another one in the win column here on Sunday, but we do have to talk about Scheffler as well. 6 different players reaching double figures on Sunday. 9 under ultimately gets you into a playoff, and the runner-up, Scottie Scheffler, really couldn't buy a birdie going around his final 18 holes here, 2 over. What'd you see out of Scottie? Real strider, as we know, knows how to close, but a bit perplexed by these greens over the final 18 holes, KP?
Yeah, he was. He finished 59th in putting on Sunday, and I actually thought he kind of held it together late just to get in the playoff. I mean, he makes the 8 or 9 footer, maybe it might have been longer than that, 10 footer perhaps on 17 to make par there. Had a 5 footer on 18 to make par there. He just didn't have clearly his best stuff on Sunday. Didn't make a birdie. I know the conditions were difficult, but still to not make a birdie on a day where just one would have closed it out, he's going to be disappointed with that. That's going to be a bummer for him. But man, he's just taking so many rips at wins over the last, February 1st he didn't have any, and now he was 1 shot from having his 5th, and he would have been the first guy since Tom Watson in 1980 to get 5 wins in a season before June 1st. So he doesn't end up with that $1.5 million first prize. I don't know. I think second is around $900,000, $1 million, which puts him within striking distance of Jordan Spieth's all-time single-season money record at $12 million. Spieth set that back in 2014-15. Scheffler's probably going to shatter it unless it gets injured or just completely falls off over the last 3 months. I'm excited about his summer. I mean, we've still got 2 major championships left. We've still got a bunch of big tournaments left. And I'm excited to see if he can get to that 5-win plateau. That's kind of a milestone that doesn't get reached very often on the PGA Tour, and Scheffler's still got a great shot at it.
And as always, mark off Jordan Spieth on your HQ bingo cards. It is time now for the Bonobos Perfect Fit. Stars will be out again next week, KP, at Jack's Place for the Memorial. Always must-see TV. Milkshakes and high temps are guaranteed, but who fits the always daunting task at hand in Dublin, Ohio?
Well, this is probably an obvious choice, but I got to go with Jon Rahm. Jon Rahm wins it back in 2020 when they had the back-to-back weeks there with the Workday charity event that Colin Morikawa won, and then the Memorial the week after, which Jon Rahm won. And then obviously he was 6 up last year after the 3rd round, has to withdraw because of a positive COVID test. He's been awesome at this golf course. I think this is a good spot for Rahm to kind of reassert himself as a top guy in the world. He hasn't played well at the first couple majors. He won in Mexico. That was kind of a lower field event. So he hasn't had his best stuff, I would say, since January, February. And I think for him to get back on track before defending his U.S. Open at Brookline, before going to the Open Championship later this summer, I think that would be a really big deal for him as somebody that I think is still one of the top 2 or 3 guys in the world, despite not showing it over the last couple months.
And our Kyle Porter under par and over-delivering each and every week on tour. KP, we thank you as always. And don't forget, there's more Kyle Porter, more Rick Gehman, and the whole gang on the First Cut podcast. They take you under the ropes and into the action each and every week on tour, including a wrap-up of this week's Charles Schwab final round. As you can catch it all coming your way on the First Cut podcast. Download, subscribe, and enjoy today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.